Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator. And if you could see us in the dark here, welcome back to, we're about halfway, maybe a third of the way from Burns, Oregon to Logan, Utah. This is where we stopped last episode. Man, I have so many sims. Let's get some lights on here. All right, get fired up. There we go. That's better. I have so many sims that I play for the channel and that I play for my own amusement and enjoyment that sometimes I step away from a sim for quite a while, and it has been a minute since we've been in this sim. But this is exactly where we stopped last episode. So, brake is off. Let's put her in gear and continue on. We may or may not make it to Logan today, this episode, but we'll keep rolling. I wouldn't say that I had forgotten about ATS, but it's been so long since we played it. Probably a week, 10 days, that I forgot what truck we were in and what we were doing and everything else. But we'll pick it back up quickly enough. Right back on the highway. And we did just sleep. We're okay on fuel. Are we, where's the fuel gauge? Yeah, we're okay on fuel. We may not make it all the way into Logan on this tank. You know what? We might. Hang on. Let me scroll through here. Distance to empty, 1,100 miles. Yeah, I think we'll make it. Right. Okay. I'm telling you, man. It's not that I forget how to play a sim, but when you spend enough time in one sim, when you hop back to another sim, you know, you feel kind of wonky for a few minutes, right? Get back on your feet, getting familiar with things again. So used to SnowRunner. I saw on Discord today, I wouldn't say it was a downvote, but I saw, I guess, the first kind of negative feedback that I've seen on SnowRunner to date. I've seen a few bugs and a few glitches, some things that are really immersion breaking, kind of frustrating. I know the first time I tried to put a vehicle on a trailer, and they do have ramped trailers in the game. What are you going to do with a ramped trailer other than put a vehicle on it? And you try to do that, right? You drive the vehicle up onto the trailer. It's on top of it. You set the brake, you turn the engine off, you get into the truck that is hooked up to the trailer, right, that is going to pull the trailer that your vehicle is now on. You swap over to that truck, and when you do, the vehicle that you just put up on the trailer falls through it. All collision disappears. Yeah. All right. That's interesting. Very disappointing. And the first time I saw that, I did immediately hop on the Google, hop on the Reddit, and take a look, and people were like, yeah, WTF, man. You've even got it in the trailer. You put a truck on the trailer. I mean, you've got it in the trailer for the game, not the trailer in-game, right? You put the truck on the trailer, and you drive both of them out to wherever, such as you do. And it seems that's not possible yet. So people were kind of pissed about that. I was baffled by it, but whatever. Moving on. And I've had a problem with a couple trailers and things that do, to me, sort of break the immersion. I find that more frustrating than anything else. Anything that breaks the immersion is that's no good for me. But for the most part, game's been all right. But I saw some feedback today, and when I saw that feedback, you know, I take stuff like that seriously. I don't. I've never wanted to be a fanboy and just sort of blindly defend a game. You know, if somebody says something about it that I, just as a knee-jerk, immediately say, no, you're wrong. Post your specs. Post your system specs or you're lying. I love that defense of a game. Oh, all right. I guess I'm not having problems with it. I just went on Reddit to shit-talk a game randomly and for no reason. So I don't like to do that. I like to, you know, see what there is to it. And I took a look, and I guess there is quite an extensive bug thread and bug list. I really have not had those problems. I consider myself very lucky. I've enjoyed the game to this point. I'm burning out on it a little bit, and the game has seemed to me to this point to be really well balanced and really enjoyable. But I find as I'm getting into Russia, the difficulty curve is spiking up, which we anticipated. We knew that was going to happen. We knew the game was going to get more difficult. But the difficulty is, to me, it feels contrived and kind of tedious. You know, Michigan was good. I think it was easier because it was almost a tutorial level. Alaska was harder, but it felt linear. It made sense. It was more difficult in a logical way. Russia, nah, I don't know, man. It just feels tedious is the best word. But in fairness, I have binged the game quite a bit in the past few weeks, and I'm a little burned out on it. So it could just be that is the way I'm feeling about Russia, more than the way Russia feels. I still like the game. I still believe in the game. But that bug thread was really a surprise to me. I have not had those problems. So that is SnowRunner. Still waiting on plenty of DLC for other games. There have been no updates on Iberia. There's been no more specific date for Idaho, just summer of 2020. And technically we are still in spring. I think June is summer, but May is still spring. So we're okay there. And yeah, I don't know, man. It can feel like, gaming can feel like there's an arc to it. Let's get slowed down here. There's an arc to gaming, and it's there's a flow to it. I guess almost like a season, you know, that I don't know of many games that are, well, we'll use the word linear again. Turn here? I guess we do. This doesn't seem like a real road. It seems like a driveway. Now this guy. Oh yeah, I guess we go through. Felt like we were pulling into this building over here on the right. There are very few games that I know of, or that I've played, that are straight through from end to end. That the game feels like the first day that you played, it feels a certain way, and it continues to feel that way all the way through, well, end game, post-end game. Games tend to have an arc, and particularly something with a specific end game, right? A shooting game, an RPG game, an adventure game, puzzle game. Yeah, there's going to be DLC, but you know what I mean? It's got a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you sort of tie it off, you go through a progression. But even an open-ended game like ATS or Race Sim that doesn't really have an ending, there does seem to be like various ways that you feel about that game as you play through it. Am I saying that right? I may not be. And then on top of that, there is how you feel about gaming in general at any given moment. And also how you're feeling personally at any given moment. And you put that all together, and for me, I think at different times you can just have a different take on gaming. And I wouldn't say that I'm burned out on gaming, but I'm really, I'm just kind of craving something. I'm craving something a little different. I will say that Tarkov in its own way kind of ruined me for shooting games, because it is so exactly what I want a shooting game to be, and at the same time it's not unplayable. I just don't think I'm ever going to be good enough at it to enjoy it, and it's the kind of game where there's no easy mode that I know of. It's a lambs and lions kind of game, and if you're not a lion, then you must be a lamb, and that's not fun for me. I mean, I'm sure it's not fun for a lot of people, but it's just, the game it's not fun for me. And I don't think I'll ever be good enough at it that it will be fun. At the same time, because the mechanic of it, and because the gunplay and the loot aspect, all of it is so exactly what I want a shooting game to be. I don't think any other shooting game could ever compare to Tarkov for me. And so Tarkov has in its own way ruined shooting games for me forever. Because there will never be another shooting game. Well, I say never. We don't know that. But you know what I mean? At the moment, there's no game that I can look at and say, well, I can't be good enough at Tarkov to enjoy it, to play it. Instead, I'll just hop in whatever. Anything else that I could possibly think of playing, I'm only going to compare it to Tarkov and say, no, the gunplay isn't as good. Ballistics, bullet drop, None of that. It's not as good as Tarkov. So it sort of ruined me. I can't play Tarkov and I can't play anything else. I thought about City Builder. I was taking a look at City Skylines and Planet Coaster earlier today. I think both of those in their own way are the best city builders out there at the moment, at least for me. The thing that I both like and dislike about Planet Coaster is the sort of micro building aspect. When you look at something like City Skylines, it's got the macro building aspect. You place a building and then it grows into something and you don't really need to intervene. When I look at something like Planet Coaster, you place a building, but then you can actually go in and decorate that building with assets and build it up exactly the way you want. And the things that people do online, again, they've ruined it for me. The way that people macro these buildings, it's next level. And so when I place a generic building, or just build a hill and throw a roller coaster through it, it looks aight. And I want my park to be profitable, but it doesn't look like the people that are building that stuff online. And so it's I don't know, it just feels like I'm not playing the game well enough. So city builders, yeah, that's kind of a non-starter. The farms, now I'm really pleased with the response that we got to Agra OC. Super happy about that. Hang on, let's get through here. This is a little, you know what I'm saying? It's a little. All right, then we're gonna get over. All right, get through there. Good grief. Turn signal off, and we turn these lights off. All right, whew. What was I complaining about? Oh, Agra OC. Yeah, I'm glad we got the response that we did. I put a lot of thought into that map, and I'm glad it's resonating with you. I'm glad it seems to be a map that you like, and we're not necessarily all in on 17, but we're mostly in on 17, and we're mostly out on 19. So we've got those two maps going, but I noticed I don't really play farm sim. Honestly, I don't really play any sim. I wouldn't say for enjoyment, but my sim gaming and the channel are so intertwined at this point that I rarely play a game that I'm not either recording it or bringing it up to speed for the next recording. So farm sim, I'll play FS17 today, both Western Shore and Agra OC, but only to move those farms forward enough so that they can be recorded tomorrow or whenever. And like truck sim, ATS, I truly have not touched this sim. The truck was parked exactly where we left it when we got done with our last episode over a week ago. So I do still enjoy sim gaming, but I need something. You know what I mean? I'm missing something. I tried Derail Valley today, and it's a VR game. It's a kids game. It's cool, but it doesn't fit the channel. But that's sort of where I'm at. I'm looking. I'm looking. And I know, I don't want to say we got lucky with SnowRunner, but I had planned on staying away from SnowRunner. I had no interest in it. It turned out to be a great game. I really enjoy it. But I binged it, right? And now we're sort of burned out on it. And, so we're saying, I'm saying, I need something new. I need something to kind of snap me out of this malaise that I'm feeling when it comes to gaming. I'm kind of burned out on gaming. I'm kind of bored with gaming. I need something new. I find something new like SnowRunner, and then I play it for a ridiculous amount of hours in a month. And then I say, oh man, I'm burned out on SnowRunner. I need something new. I need to shake myself out of this malaise. So, the problems we cause ourselves, the first world problems we cause ourselves. Whoa, sir. All right. How I didn't see that till that late. All right. Now, if the problem is on the bridge, and I believe it is, yeah, then we can just go down the hill. Yep. We can just go right down here and then go straight. Yeah, we're okay. So it is a detour, but it's not a bad one. We do get a detour every single episode. I think I need to turn that probability down. Hey, you know what else happens every single episode? I say we get a detour every single episode. We need to turn that probability down. All right. Continuing. Oh, dear. All right, we made it. What else is going on? Yeah, we're waiting on F1 2020. I've been playing some Monster Energy Supercross 3. God, that game is frustrating. It really, really is. It's the rhythm, man. It's the flow. You gotta go hard enough to clear the triples, but at the same time, you have to pedal a lot of doubles. And figuring out which is which, like learning when you've got to like just hammer it, particularly through a hairpin to carry enough momentum to clear the double or the triple that's coming up, right? That's one thing. Bypass the way station, you got it. And then at the same time, you know, knowing what turns you need to come out of and just pedal it a little bit. Soft wrist, and not quite roll, but oh. And every track is different, and then on top of that, tracks can be wet or dry. I feel like I'm decent at the MXGP games. I can play those against 100% AI. Realistic AI. I do all right. I don't always win, but I do all right. But the Monster Energy Supercross 3 AI, when I crank it up, it just hammers me. Well, I hammer myself. I crash a lot. I case a lot of landings. But I have been playing that. That's fun. MotoGP 20, I really haven't spent a lot of time in it. There is that managerial mode, but I feel like, I don't know, that just seemed like a new UI, you know, lipstick on a pig. I don't know. I feel like they didn't do anything to the game since MotoGP 19. I know a couple tracks are different. I know the pajamas are different, but it feels like the same game. I really think that could have been a DLC. And what else? Nothing. I mean, there's been some content for Dirt Rally 2.0. That's sort of fun, but that was a minute ago. And yeah, I'm just looking, man. I don't know. I'm not. It's not that I'm over gaming. Certainly, it's not that I'm over sim gaming. I just feel a little. I don't know. Something's not right. Something's not the way I want it to be. Could be something in my world though. That happens as well. And and there was one other thing. There's something. I can't remember. So, but that's how it goes. We'll drive the truck. We'll get into. We'll see where we are after 30 minutes, and if we'll cap the video at 30 minutes, and we will. I'll either take it into Logan off camera, or if we're still a ways from Logan, a week from now, 10 days from now, we'll take it the rest of the way on camera. But this is my neck of the woods. This reminds me of the area around Moab. I do miss that place. It was a while ago that I lived there, and I know, Ernest Hemingway. He talks about places where it was good to write, and places where it was not so good to write. And then he says, but maybe it wasn't the place. Maybe it was us and how good we were when we were in those places, or not good. I think there's a lot of wisdom in that statement. If I went back to Moab today, I don't know if Moab would be the same. I know I wouldn't be the same. You know? So I don't know if it would be as good. I don't know if it would be exactly the same. You know, Moab is different and I'm different, but we're both different in ways where they cancel each other out and we're right back where we were. Or it could be that it's better than it ever was. You know? I feel like once you've been away from a place for long enough, there's no point going back to it specifically. You may as well just go anywhere new because it'll feel the same. So I do miss it though. I miss the mountain biking. I miss Fruta and Grand Junction. Moab was, it's a different kind of mountain biking than anywhere else in the world. And for that reason, it was an absolute destination. But it always struck me as kind of a novelty. Even when I lived there, it always struck me as a novelty. And so you go up the road to Fruta, and the riding was and is in many ways a lot better. And then you go up the road from there to Grand Junction, there wasn't as much, But out at the Tabawatch, fantastic riding. But that was about when people started discovering BC and Whistler and the islands, and I don't know. It's there's Moab, the Slick Rock, and then there's one place. I want to say there's another place in France with that type of riding, and that alone makes it a destination. But I think there's better riding other places. I will say Moab is the only place I've ever been that has top shelf mountain biking. It's also got paddling, right? Big river paddling, class 5, class 6. It's got plenty of rock climbing, trad, and sport, and aid. That's fantastic, sir. It's got base jumping, which I never did. It's got plenty of, I don't know, dirt bike. It's not quite motocross. It's out in the desert. It's more like Baja style riding. It's got plenty of that. It's got everything, man. Whatever you're into. If it's a, I'm reluctant to say adventure sport. I'm certainly not going to say extreme sport. But if you're into those kinds of activities, there's certainly plenty of it there. And it's right over the hill from Durango and T-Ride and all those other places. So you're a couple hours from some of the best skiing on earth. So if you're into that lifestyle, there are worse places to live than Moab. And I'll tell you one place that's arguably better to live is Grand Junction, where I also lived, because that's kind of central to it all, but it's got a functioning economy outside of tourism. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll ever live in that part of the world again, but San Juan's, it's a pretty magical place. Again, it may not be if I went back, but it certainly was while I was there. All right, what else we got going on? Upcoming games we're looking for. This game. Yeah, I think that's it. Where we at? 23 minutes. Perfect. This is when we start looking for a place to pull over. I don't think we're going to make Logan today. I mean, we can take a look at the map. Moment. 134 miles. We got about 10 minutes to get in. Tell you what, let's leave this up. We've got less than that. We've got about 8 minutes to get in. Oh, it's close. It's close. We're coming up on 23 minutes, and we've got about 8 minutes to go. Let's see if we can get all the way into Logan today. Get this thing parked up. I'm going to leave the mini map up just so we can sort of track our progress. And I don't have to bring it up again when we get closer. But yeah, man. Have you ever been there? Have you ever been in that place with gaming where it's like, I don't even want to look at my PC right now. I don't even want to look at it. And at the same time, there's a part of you that's like, no, what if we tried this? What if we, I heard about this game. What if we, it's somewhere between being burned out on it, being over it, and being kind of optimistic, kind of curious about finding a new game or a new sim. And something like Derail Valley, that's how I ended up with SnowRunner. SnowRunner was a great game. Is a great game. Derail Valley, not so much. It is early access. We'll see what happens to it. It's a VR game. I don't know that it'll ever be my type of game, but it's certainly going to improve as it comes out of early access. I almost said easy access. That's not a thing. But the same way that we found SnowRunner is sort of how we found Derail Valley. One just turned out to be, for me, better than the other. So, I don't know. There is an arc to it, like I was saying earlier. When anything is this much a part of your life, as gaming is for me, I think it's inevitable there are going to be ups and downs. I think not quite the struggle, that might be too strong a word for it, but I think for me the challenge of it, the balance of it, is being almost dismissive of gaming. Even though it is a big part of my life, I tend to minimize it sometimes. Like, it's just gaming. It's not a big deal. It's not important. It's nothing to be taken seriously. But maybe it is. Whoa! What? No. All right. I notice a lot of games do that. It's like the physics on an object don't become active until you get close to it, but it ends up, you feel like a Jedi, right? Getting close on a truck and it just freaks out. Same thing happens in SnowRunner. And I think it's to save CPU that certain, let's go ahead and pass this guy. We got plenty of speed limit. Let's get around this bus. I think it's to save CPU, that the physics are not acting on an object. It is more or less suspended in space with no physics. And then when you cross a certain threshold, it does become active. And so you see that jump, that lurch when you get close to it. But it can be a little off-putting. You know what? We might just make this. Whoa. And of course, just as we speed up, we hit a new speed limit. That happens. All right. Oh, that's nice. They got the beehive, if you can see in the minimap there, out to the right. Route 201, Route 202. Looks like a little triangle. It's actually a beehive. That is one of the symbols of the state of Utah, is the beehive. They are a busy people. They certainly do keep busy. Utah, I don't know what you've heard about Utah. It is a fantastic place. It really is. Or for me it was. And that is both out in the backcountry, out in the desert, and also places like Salt Lake and Provo. It's a cool place. If you've not been there, check it out. It is a riot. Let me see. And we're slowing down again. Is that, has that always been that way? I feel like the speed limits are kind of bouncing around a little bit. Train sim world style. But I could be wrong. All right, we're going to exit here. Are we? Yeah. We're going to exit right. And then it looks like we're going to the... Nope. I thought we were going to turn left. Or exit left, but we're just going over the hump here. Oh, hey, we're capturing this in 4K as well. So I'll be curious to see what this looks like when we render it out. Right through there. All right. 28 minutes. Wow. It's like a race. I'm liking the way the torque is delivered in 1.37. It feels like the motors are a lot smoother and the trucks accelerate a lot more like trucks. They feel like trucks. Good way to say it. In comparison, even in 1.36. And this game has never had amazing physics, but they've been pretty good. But even in 1.36, it felt like the acceleration was a little too convenient, maybe. I don't know if that's a good word for it. It wasn't quite unrealistic. It was just a little something. 1.37 seems to have, I don't know, slowed things down a little bit. Trucks feel heavier. All right, gotta be getting close. Yep, looks like an exit here. Maybe? No, we're not. Bypass the way station. Okay. All right. I think that may be the first time I've ever seen cars re-entering traffic after a police stop on the highway. Interesting. All right, so we're going to exit here. Time 30 minutes. All right, but we're just a couple minutes away from our drop off. Let's see if we can make it. They really nailed the scenery on this part of the world. Very, very accurate. I'm watching our miles click down there and seeing. I know sometimes when you're in a city, the time compression goes away. And it's only when you cross out of that city that you get the 15-1 again. I think we're definitely in a 15-1 right now. Yeah, we're getting there. Okay. So right around here. Whoa, careful. Careful with the trailer stability. I was trying to open up the steering on that bend, and I had no idea who was next to me or behind me. It was a little dicey. All right, so I'm going to go over here. I think. Slow down to 45. Yeah, it looks like we got a left turn here. Time, 32 minutes. Yeah, this will be just about right. Couple minutes long, but not bad. I've been catching some green lights today too. I like that. You know, I've never even thought about the possibility of, because these lights need to be so short to keep the traffic flowing, I've never even thought about the possibility of rigging them to be sensitive to a vehicle approaching, a player approaching, and tee up the lights. And they don't all need to be green. We don't want it unrealistic. But knowing that you're only going to have a limited window to get through the lights, maybe kind of set them up for you. Or, how would that work? I was thinking keep the light green longer for you as the player, but then keep them on the short cycle for everybody else to keep traffic moving. Yeah, why not do that? Give you the longer greens when you're in the trigger for that light. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm going to send an email to Pavel. I'm also going to hit my coffee while we're sitting here at this light. Hang on. All right. I had a feeling that was going to happen. And these arrows are the shortest lights of all. Yep. We don't even have half the length of our truck through the intersection. It's already going yellow on us. That happens. All right. Time, 34 minutes. Yeah, we'll make it. I think I may skip the delivery, though. I know we haven't done that for a long time, but in the interest of expediency, you know what I'm saying? So we're going right in here. Let's see how complex the drop-off is. Yeah, let's do a quick delivery. All right, so we're right down here. See how we did. We are on time. Fantastic. And that's with sleeping. 640 miles. Not bad. All right. Get some XP. Got a lot of XP. Beautiful. There you have it. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of American Truck Simulator. We'll see you next time. Take care now.